and then I will mute myself and you can get started.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So my name is Laura Stanley Pelzel. I am the Director of Admissions for Bethesda College. Bethesda is an applied learning school. We're a 2-year college designed for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We're located in Mequon, Wisconsin, on the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan, within Concordia University. We are blessed to have such an amazing university to work with us, and we have so many collaborations within the university. And I think that's one of the biggest parts that make our program unique. In fact, right now our students are going to be working with the physical therapy department, doing some wellness exams and collaborating with them to come up with some fitness routines, individualized based on abilities and limitations. So lots of stuff going on. I always kind of describe it as a 1,000,000-piece puzzle. Bethesda students are Concordia students. It's so important for that autonomy to describe to our students that you are a Concordia student. We are a program within Concordia. The students leave with a certificate. They live on campus in the dorms with student staff, resident assistants. Basically, they live in a suite type situation where there are 3 rooms. One of the rooms is where we house our Concordia staff, our resident assistant. And the other 2 rooms are where Bethesda students are roomed together, but they are on the floor with the rest of the peers with Concordia, and in the same hallway with Concordia peers. But we do have our designated suites, so we can ensure to provide the cues, reminders, support, assistance needed. A big part of our program is also the natural support of the students, not just the student staff that we hire and pay, but the students around campus who will gladly help our Bethesda College students out and maybe take them to a class or help them find the health center or whatever it may be. I like to say, we see that essence of being a Christian campus. We see it more than we hear it. We've got chapel every day at 9:30, but there are some really, really great students here who are preparing to be professionals. So I'm excited for the world to meet them. So our Bethesda students are Concordia students, and that is so important to them. As I said, we are on Concordia's grounds. It is, interestingly enough, it used to be a convent for nuns, and there's up to 3 miles of underground tunnels beneath the school. So you never even need to go outside and deal with the elements, because yes, beautiful on the shores of Lake Michigan, but cold and windy and blizzardy some days. So there's 3 miles of underground tunnels, and not only that, we've got kind of a well spread out campus, but it's all connected, interestingly enough, kind of oddly in a big circle in some ways. So the tunnels are monitored by cameras. There's phones for safety. And we are, actually, I should update this because the new stats came out. We're not the 2nd safest campus in the nation anymore, I believe. They did a different kind of article this year, and it just listed all of the 50 campuses, and it didn't really rate them from what I saw. So I'm going to have to check that out and cite my source. But we are one of the safest schools in the nation, and we are the safest post-secondary school in Wisconsin. Oh, I grabbed my wrong. You guys, I'm so sorry. I grabbed last year's. Give me 1 second, because this was last year's PowerPoint. I am so sorry. Just give me 1 sec, please. And I just did this presentation the other day, so I thought it was handy. And I'm wrong, but I'll go on and I'll multitask if possible. So we have 18 students this year. There are 10 males and 8 females. This is the biggest class that we've had thus far. We've got 6 resident assistants. So 6 of our staff who live with our students on campus. And then we have a lot of other hired student staff, such as student support for classes. We call them student instructors. We also have job coaches and life skills assistants. So I'm so sorry. Let me just grab this point. Okay. My apologies, everyone. Here we go. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
No worries.
All right, there we go. Sharing screen. Okay, this is this year. So we've got 18 students, 8 females, 10 males, a wide range of abilities we like to focus on, but various disabilities, intellectual delays, developmental delays, epilepsy, orthopedic and physical impairments. We have some speech and language delays, several students with some ADHD diagnoses, emotional and behavioral disabilities, autism and Down syndrome. Students typically enroll between 18 and 26 years of age. We like to assist with the transition planning, and if a student really wants to come to college after graduation, it would be a perfect time. However, we've had a couple calls lately about aging out, and I think that's something that I would like to get rid of, because I think if you're a 30-year-old student and you want to come to college, there's nothing wrong with that. We're not all traditional undergrad students. So I don't even like to cap an age. I don't think that's appropriate. So yeah, they typically enroll between 18 and 26. But as I said, I actually just had a call from a 36-year-old man who wants to go to college, and I'm going to interview him. So we've got our 4 professional staff. We've got the Director of Transition Services, Christine Leonard. I am the Director of Admissions, and I also am an adjunct professor and teach many of the courses. We have the Director of Internships, Brianna Reisted. We have a program assistant who helps tie it all together. And then we are currently hiring for a student life manager. And for the time being, we are filling that role. It's actually effortless to fill the role, just to make sure everyone is experiencing the college life. I think that's one of the biggest things that we are stressing to the students is the college experience. It's not just the courses, it's not just the living on campus, it's the experience as a whole. The students are doing internships on and off campus, paid and unpaid. They're attending Concordia classes for audit, and then taking Bethesda courses as well. A student's typical day would be involving all of these 4 areas. So academics, adult living skills, campus and community life, and career prep and internships. Those are our core components that we base the program off of. And basically, depending on a student's schedule, they might wake up and have a Concordia class at 8 o'clock. Every day we have chapel from 9:30 to 10, which is not mandatory. It's completely up to each student if they do or do not want to attend. I feel I should also say, well, we are a Lutheran school. Obviously, we do not discriminate on any religious beliefs. So we have many people with many different religious backgrounds who are students. And so if a student does or doesn't attend chapel, makes no difference to us, but there are no activities going on at that time to allow the students the availability for their schedule. They have, let's see, we've got spiritual development, personal development, independent living, career prep, technology and portfolio. We have some specialized courses. We have someone who's working on a childcare certificate right now. So they're working with a student instructor one-on-one, helping with that. We've got another student who's working towards some culinary experience and certificates. And so he too is working with a student staff one-on-one. We really want to carve out and come alongside each student for their needs, their abilities, their limitations, their barriers, and just meet them where they're at. Concordia's Bible verse of the year, which I won't be able to quote it because I don't know Bible verses that well, but it's about molding the clay. And I think it's just a really neat analogy because we want to mold what we already have. We're not trying to change these students. We want to teach them the skills that they need to be able to live as independently as they successfully and safely can. Besides the Concordia classes, the student instructor support, they do have out-of-class tutoring. For about each hour that a Concordia class meets, they meet with the student instructor for that amount of time outside of class to work on assignments, which we do modify and alter as needed. For instance, one student was struggling in art, having to create 20 bookmarks of some sort of capacity. And so it was very simple. Well, then you create 10. And so we cater the assignments and the requirements as needed, but they're basically a pass or fail letter grade at the end of the semester. The students also have study lab one night a week where they go with the student staff and they can help tie things together, work in the computer lab, make sure everything's printed and ready for class. And then final portfolios are a big and scary part of the students' lives, but they're not scary. I am so excited to be doing portfolios. I was newly hired in June, and so coming in with fresh eyes, I am just thrilled to be able to give the students the ability to do whatever they want for their portfolio. I'm going to date myself now because I taught them what a diorama is, child of the 80s. I was so excited, and someone really wants to do a diorama for their portfolio presentation. Or we're teaching PowerPoint or TikTok videos or Instagram. I really just want them to be creative, and that's kind of where we come alongside a person. If they're interested in something, well, then let's utilize that. So I can't wait to see what the students come up with for portfolios. We are working on them throughout every class, and basically our final portfolio is the students presenting everything that they feel they've learned in the 4 general categories that we have. So we have adult living skills, which is oh so important. We've got the budgeting and money management, organization, time management, all the good skills to pay the bills that we need. And we also actually teach that course, skills to pay the bills as well. We do have an intent of continuing the service to others. It was one of the components of our independent living class, but kind of COVID put a damper on that. And with all the rules and regulations, we haven't yet resumed the service part of the independent living class, but we're hoping to do that second semester in maybe more in-house ways to help our community. A huge part of Bethesda College is the campus and community life. So yeah, they live on campus as they should. They are integrated residents and they are with our students here on campus without disabilities. They're enjoying all aspects of life, clubs, activities. In fact, it's, let's see, tonight is a dance, a Halloween Best Buddies dance, and it's the talk of the town. Intramural sports are a big thing. I do want to be nothing but transparent. And one of the barriers that we see is being that we're not a traditional undergraduate part of Concordia, we do not qualify for the, now I'm going to prove I'm not a sports person, NAACP, NCAAP, NAACP. We don't qualify for the rules. So we've got someone who, oh man, he's a track star, but unfortunately he can't join the track team. However, he's going to help out with the track team. We've got people who love basketball and they came from their high schools as basketball managers. And so we're continuing those relationships as well. So they're going to be a manager for the basketball team. We actually have 3 individuals this year who are going to do that. But the intramural sports we join, they've got a cornhole league coming up for some bag throwing here on campus. They've got volleyball, indoor and outdoor. Oh my gosh, what was it? It was, oh, what do you call that? Extreme frisbee, something. It was some frisbee intramural sport, something really neat where they practice maybe a month, the first month of school, and then had a get together, an event. And then the spiritual life, which is oh so important, that our students get not just from the spiritual development class that I teach, but from living on a Christian campus. The maturity and independence is evident. Oh my goodness. We are on week 9 of school. And I can't believe how much growth we have seen in 9 weeks. I like to say we kind of take an informal approach of assessing and then addressing. The first 4 weeks, we're kind of checking it out. All right, who did mom and dad bring us, or who did family bring us? And what is this experience going to be like? And what do you want out of this? And then these last 4 weeks, after we kind of figured out who you are and what you want and need, we've really been addressing some of the things that maybe are a limitation or a setback that maybe wasn't evident before they came here on campus. So that maturity and the growth that happens organically from being here on campus and being taught to sink or swim, essentially. We're never going to let anyone drown. I told the parents that during our parent meeting. We are here to teach them how to swim, and I'm going to throw them every single life jacket I can find to make sure that they have the support they need. But they're here on campus by themselves, and it really is a neat experience to see. The career prep is another huge important aspect of our program. We have the director of internships who prepares the student through the work experience. It is similar to maybe DVR job exploration, however, much more individualized. And unlike DVR, you pick an employment goal, you really got to stick with that goal, or you change the whole IPE and then start over. With us, we're ebbing and flowing. We had an internship set up for someone. It didn't work out. He didn't like it. We found him a new one. He loves it. We're ready to switch internships half semester, or at semester time, I'm sorry. And this kid said, no, I don't want to switch. I love it. So again, we're coming alongside our students and meeting them where they're at and what they want. The first year we work on some important skills that obviously are necessary to work in the community. Our goal is integrated employment, obviously, in the community. And so we do have the job coaches that we phase out, and we try to fade out as soon as we can, just to implement the natural supports that are also necessary. Second year, we often have the internships off campus, and then we deal with I guess some more intricate details of being an employee, rather than that good old go to work, be clean, be on time, be appropriate. We get to tap into the career life a little bit more with our second year students. And actually, on that same note, if our first year students are ready, we send them out in the community. We're not going to hold you back just because it's a plan on paper. We've got several first year students right now working in the community in some very neat locations with some neat supportive providers. And it's really, really amazing to see these students come back and feel like, hey, I'm a part of my community. So the internships, one last thing I didn't talk about was that we do taxi, Uber, and Amtrak training as needed. Many of our students take Ubers or taxis or rideshare, and we just kind of give them that script, help them, support them as they need, and then hopefully, again, fade out our support and have them able to call a ride when they need to. Oops. I'm stuck. Give me 1 second. There we go. And then we have graduation. Our students participate in the Concordia University graduation ceremony. They receive a certificate of applied learning, and oh boy, do we party. We still have the supplies all over the place. So I am so excited to be a part of it this year. And we've got 6 second-year students graduating. So 12 first-year students will likely return next year. And so we are excited to see what next year will bring us. One of the other unique things about Bethesda College is that we have a really cool program called STEPS. STEPS is Successful Transition Exiting Post-Secondary. That is where halfway through your second year, we're going to say, all right, guys, what's your plan? You're going to move home or what's going on? And this is another thing that happened organically. So it was about 3 years ago, I'm told, that students were saying, I don't want to leave. I don't want to move home. I love my community. I love Concordia. I love the area. I love my friends. And so this program was then created. We help coordinate roommate situations. We help coordinate living situations. And then we do provide social opportunities and support in the community, most often through funding, through IRIS or family care. But it's not your typical supportive home care type of situation. It's more of, hey, you successfully graduated from Bethesda College. You've decided to move into an apartment with support. Many of our graduates actually move in with Bethesda neurotypical students. So some unique situations are ones that, and this is again where we coordinate, we don't necessarily set up the services, but we coordinate, where Joe Schmo says, hey, I love it here, I want to stay, and I love my RA, he's graduating too. And so we connect these two families and they come up with some sort of agreement. And Joe Schmo's family says, hey, I'm going to pay your rent if you're there as a natural support for my student. And so our students often are finding apartments and living with Concordia staff. And that's just one example of how a family is paying for the support that this Concordia student is providing now. So otherwise, some students live on their own in their own apartments, in their own houses, live together with each other, and then have supports through our STEPS staff who come and they have social events, a weekly potluck. Oh gosh, they've got virtual bingo, virtual dance party that all happened because of COVID. And some other really neat things just to keep them in the community if they want. We have people from all over the United States. We've got someone from Florida this year, Arizona, Michigan, and those people have already kind of said, hey, I don't want to go back home. I really like it here. And they have also said, I really like living away from mom and dad. So just like every other college student, they're finding their independence, their autonomy. We're teaching self-determination, self-actualization. I taught Maslow's hierarchy of needs the other day, and they got it. They really got it. They understood you need food and water before you can find out who you are, but that's what this journey is all about, finding out who you are. So I am so thankful to have been hired on as the director of admissions, and so thankful to be teaching the courses because it really helps me see the students from a different side than just bringing them in and doing the paperwork. I really, really love teaching the courses as well, and reading some of the papers. I gave a midterm assignment last week for our spiritual development class, and wow, some beautiful, impactful statements from my students who you don't know until you expect it. You don't know it until you assign it. You don't know it until you try it. And that's what they're all doing here. So let me just quick run through my question list. I'm sure I forgot some. Average class size, about 12 students. We have about 12 students. We don't put all Bethesda students in one class. We base it off your needs, your abilities, your limitations, your desires to learn, your learning styles, and we'll change it as it ebbs and flows and as needed. We do offer a summer session prior to fall enrollment. So typically it's called BC 101. That was offered in June, and it was supposed to be a marketing tool. I'm told the last couple of years it was kind of more of a, hey, my student is actually coming next year and I just want to see what it's like. So that's kind of what happened this past summer. I worked BC 101 and basically all of our first year students attended. I definitely am in the process of restructuring that to a more conference style, information style experience for people who are interested in learning more about the program. More information will come on that as soon as I develop it. What type of a student is a good fit? Any student who wants to learn. The desire to learn is a big one. You can tell the students who had mom and dad say, hey, this is your next step. And they're not living their college experience to the fullest because they really don't want to. It's evident. And we're working with mom and dad, and we're transparently talking about those things. Because we really want our students to remain involved in the program for the full 2 years. However, we started with 21 students this year, and we're down to 18 because we had 2 medical incidents and another one who just decided it wasn't a good fit. The percentage of enrolled students that graduate, I believe, besides those medical events, it is a completely successful program in that, yes, it's a pass fail, but we're not going to let you fail. We're going to help you pass. And so, in fact, we have a failure plan that I have printed out for someone right now. So yeah, we've got a couple people who are struggling, but we're going to work through that and hope that the students remain with our program the full 2 years, and hope that they've learned the skills needed to live as independently and safely as they can in the community. And then another little hope that maybe they join STEPS and stick around. The application process is an easy one. It's basically on our website, and there's a blue apply now button, and you fill out some info. It gets sent to my email, and I will reach out to you promptly. The application documentation that we need, and I actually have to review the online information because I'm not sure if it clearly states, but we do want 2 letters of recommendation along with the application. And then we also ask for any IEP, psychosocial assessment, anything that would help us learn your student, your loved one, to help them grow, anything that we need. I know, myself, I, as a parent of a child with special needs, I know it's hard to call out your kids sometimes and say, hey, this is what my kid struggles with, and here you go. This is going to be tough, work with it. But I think it is just so necessary to urge the transparency that we need from the parents and the students, because as I teach in my personal development class, you can't advocate for yourself until you know who you are. So we really want our students to kind of take control over their college life. Granted, many of our students have guardianship. They have their parents as their guardian of person and or estate, but we really put that decision making on them as adults here in the college situation. We do have advising meetings with our students. We aim to talk with them once a week for an hour. It doesn't always happen. Life gets busy, internships happen, events happen, but we're with our students all day, every day. And our office, whether we like it or not, is an open revolving door where I'm sure many of you know you can't get much work done because you've got 18 students who need you all the time, not just from 7 to 3, So we have that advising, but it's really that continued support. Another unique thing we have for support is we utilize the WhatsApp chat, which I never heard of until I came here. And it's really just our chat that we're all talking and communicating with throughout the day, preparing the students for changes or updates, and the students might ask us questions as well. So a case manager or advisor is assigned to each student. And the different services in our program are provided basically by the professional staff. Our 4 professional staff is providing the main support, but then we would not be able to do it without our student support as well. We have assistive technology is kind of another setting. We've got an awesome learning lab with so many opportunities and options that I can't even begin to tell you. And so that is really kind of an individualized need. And then the cost of the program is a big one. It is, it's one of the things that I'm telling parents right off the bat. I don't want to waste anyone's time because I really respect that it's a hefty cost, and the cost is not covered by traditional financial aid. So tuition this year, oh, I just had it. I'm sorry, tuition this year is about $41,000 for the year. It is, it's broken down to tuition, housing. We typically don't have our students buy books because their student instructors can do that. And the cost is a flat rate. It's a flat rate per semester tuition. I definitely touched on the social activities because I didn't touch on it enough because there are just too many to really talk about. We have so many collaborations that we're working with. We work with the PT department, the OT department, the athletic training department. We work with the education department, and they all do really cool projects with our students. It's a part of their curriculum to, right now our students are going to do this wellness exam with the physical therapy students. And one of the education students is doing a research project on one of our students. So there's a lot of activities, collaborations, and just so much to talk about. I urge anyone interested in more just to check out our website or to shoot me an email, which my email info can be found on the website. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Laura. It's great to meet you, and we appreciate your time and your energy. And if you would be willing to share your PowerPoint, I can keep it so that if a family was unable to attend, they could look it over and then get in touch with you.
Definitely.
Great. And if anybody had any questions, you could put them in the chat quickly. Otherwise, we are going to thank you again and again for your time. And we will look forward to seeing you sometime in person. Okay. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.